Hola. All right. Hello, friends. It's your favorite Scrum Master here, Anna Bangam. And today, if I'm not your favorite Scrum Master yet, don't worry about it. I got you. All right. Today, we're going to really be focusing on the one-on-one conversation that you will be having with your product owner. I know most of the time we get on this job, we're like, okay, I know what a product owner is, but do you understand the type of relationship that you should be creating with a product owner for the first time? That first time is so important because your first engagement is going to basically determine somewhat of your ongoing relationship with that product owner. So it's very important for you to make sure that you're taking good care of that relationship and you're being intentional about it. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And as I said, Scrum Master and product owner conversations for the first time. Some of the qualities I think you should be displaying, you should be aware, right? Always be aware. Watch your demeanor, be intrigued, be interested about the person you're talking to, right? Like not just be here because, oh, I kind of need to be here. Be trusting, right? There's a demeanor you have, vibe you have that literally is going to say like, okay, well, this person I can trust. Be convinced. And trust is not going to be a one day, by the way, be convinced, right? Be in this position where you're like, you are dedicated to the goal and you're convinced that you can bring value to the overall product delivery, right? You are literally in charge of delivery, all right? You got to be hopeful that even if whatever the situation is right now, they're not giving you the best, vibe in the world, be hopeful that it can change and satisfied. At the end of the day, are you satisfied with how you left the conversation? Are you happy with, you just making that initial connection with them? And be passionate, right? Passion is something that people can always read out from you immediately. So make sure that you're passionate about whatever it is that you do in life, not just be passionate about everything you do. Okay, so for the meeting is going to be titled Meet and Greet, right? Literally, the first thing you're going to ask is when you get to that meeting, hi, I'm Anna. I'm going to be the Scrum Master. I'm sure you're already aware of this. I wanted to put this time for this purpose, right? So you're going to kind of ask like, how are you feeling? How are you feeling today? Okay, they're going to go and tell you how they're feeling. They can be like, oh, it's just blah, 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 acknowledge it, have small talk. Set the stage. Tell them what is the intent for you guys meeting. Pause to listen to what they're going to say, right? So that it can be natural conversation. It doesn't seem like, okay, well, I just learned some stuff. Let me make sure that I get this going, all right? So another thing, the next thing is like, how long have you worked here? I just really want to understand, how long have you worked here? When they're done, you know what, I've been, asking a lot of, I don't want to jump into work-related stuff yet. Let's talk about what you do for fun, right? When you're not at work, what do you do, right? It's very important for you to have that understanding as far as like, what are they doing when they're not at work? It helps you understand about that person in general, okay? Another thing that you need to go into just to understand, to see if they understand what their role is, right? Because then that's where you kind of like getting to establish, like, does this person know what they're doing? Are they going to need me to coach them? How can I even be part of this, right? So you're going to need to help that. Can you ask them the question, can you describe the role you play on the team? Of course, don't make it sound like that. It has to be natural. Can you tell me a little bit about the role you play on the team? They can say, I'm a product owner, blah, 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 or they can say, I just got hired here too, so I'm trying to figure it out, right? I don't know. You guys will figure it out. Then the next thing you want to know is like, what do you like the most, right? Like they've been working on the team for some time. What do you admire most about the team that you're working with? What is one thing you think the team can do differently? The question you're asking really is, one, you want to make sure that they understand their role. Two, the thoughts about their team, right? Like you want to make sure that this person actually have like a plan for the team. Like, okay, they've been working with the team. Of course, there are going to be opportunities for improvement there, but are they thinking about it and can they also share it? Do they have an idea how to go about improving that? And then the next set of questions you want to really focus on is like, what would be the best way for me to serve you as the Scrum Master? What is the biggest impediment that you or the team is experiencing right now? Allow them to talk about the pain points that they're experiencing. You're gonna need to ask this for all the team members because everybody have a different perspective of what they think the pain point is. So it's so important for you to ask everybody the question so that you can get type of like understanding where everybody see themselves or see the team as far as like struggles that they're experiencing. Then you can be like, okay, well, I really want to understand a little bit more about like the product. Can you show or share, explain the product strategy that you have or that the team have so far? Is there a roadmap that we can go through? If there isn't one, is there a possibility that we can create one, right? The reason you're asking these questions is basically telling them what to do already. It's like, if you're asking like, do you have a roadmap? In their head, they're gonna be like, well, we kind of need one, right? It naturally happens all the time. It's like, we don't have one. I think it might be good for us to have one, don't you think? Yeah, we do, right? So just ask them. The reason you're asking them is just to understand how you can support them and collaborate with them, understand how they're communicating the vision, right? That's why you're asking about the product roadmap. Do other people on the team understand it? If they don't have it, then most likely is people on the team are just focusing on the bits and pieces. They're not worrying about the big picture, which becomes a struggle when you're trying to create user stories or having everybody to create user stories. But if everybody on the team understand the big picture, everybody would take ownership and write a user story. All right. So you're really just hinting at the fact that, hey, we kind of need a product roadmap if we don't already have one. So let's make sure we start that. All right. Like, remember, I say we, I didn't say you, we. There's a difference in language, okay? So the next thing you want to touch on is like, what practice and decisions criteria do you use to order the backlog? That's where you use Scrum Master. You can help the product owner with prioritization if they don't have one. You can easily ask like, oh, okay, like it seems like that you don't have a process or in place or practice in place right now, but have you heard about the Moscow technique? Right, you're the expert. Go ahead and share what you know. So I just wanted to say there's opportunity for you to insert yourself and level of expertise there, because now you're sharing information. They're like, oh, you know what you're talking about. Yeah, love it. But anyways, ask them about the DOD, DOR, like, do we have a definition of done, definition of ready? If not, is there a possibility we can set up time to create one with the team? It's very important for the product owner and the team to have a definition of done. I cannot stress this enough. Definition of ready, just as much important, but yeah. Do you write the story as a problem statement or solution when writing the user story, feature, or epic, right? This is just really for you to understand, like, what's their process, how they're thinking about these features that they're releasing, because honestly, all of the features should be addressing a problem, right? It's a solution to a problem. So how are they doing that, right? So we need to have a team standard, right, for what quality looks like. Process in place as far as like, how are we determining this is done, this is ready, and we're about to release it, right? And yeah, who's doing what? The next set of things that I want you to really consider is who's adding and changing the items ordering the backlog, right? Everybody should be putting stuff in the backlog. If they say, oh, it's just me, then hey, there's opportunity to coach the entire team. If they said that it's just them doing that, you know, that's an education, be like, oh, okay, that's, you know, there is benefit of having the entire team being part of that process, right? Like, I can do it, you can do it, everybody who understands the vision should be able to add stuff in the backlog, right? Right? Remember, everybody can write story into the backlog, but only the product owner can prioritize the backlog. The product owner can delegate somebody in the absence of them to be able to help with that, but that's only if that conversation has been had. So I cannot stress this enough, Scrum Masters, for you guys to make sure that you are on point with that, because listen, you will struggle. You will struggle. Another set of questions that you need to be asking is like, how do we discover new items? How do we get work in the backlog? Who are our stakeholders and partners? We need to know this information. We need to know how stuff are getting in the backlog. Is it coming through a portal? Is it coming through a customer? Like, who is putting, like, we need to understand, and you need to know that there's a process, right? And you need to know who the stakeholder is. Like, when you get on the job, you don't know who the stakeholder is. So you need to ask the question so you understand. And what's the interaction, right? Is this like internal, external customers? Like, what's the interaction? How frequently do we meet them? Do we have a demo system in place for us to show or don't work with them? This is where you ask all the questions, Scrum Masters. So don't be shy for your opportunity to come here and be impactful and also help the product owner to be efficient in their role. Just know that this is a partnership. Don't sit there and say, oh, the backlog is for the product owner. you in addition to the backlog, because at times where I facilitate the backlog, product backlog refinement or sprint planning, as long as I know what the product owner's vision is and they've prioritized the backlog, when in absence of them, like just recently I facilitated a backlog refinement session, we were able to talk through some of those stories without them, that the work still goes through with or without the product owner. So make sure that you are not just coming there to say, I'm just going to facilitate the event, that's it. You are supposed to be building relationship, because there are things that's going to go on the team that you and the product owner need to be aligned on and to be able to collaborate together, okay? So I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to jump in here and share this information. Remember, I'm sharing so that you can be able to utilize it, implement it, take action, and also have a seamless first week of on your job. Be the best you can. Bye.